What's up, boys? It is me, DLE Rhyme, and we're going to talk about Monster Reborn today. This is actually a video that was scripted by PDS. He does not have the time, unfortunately, to put this to video format, so I'm just here as the face of the video. This is actually PDS's work. I'm just representing it for the most part. So shout outs to PDS. Thank you so much for the content. Love you. Let's talk about Monster Reborn itself. So from the very beginning, reading the card, target one monster in either player's graveyard, special summon it. Pretty straightforward effect. Nothing too crazy there to keep up with it. And basically, to talk about what Monster Reborn was, yes, this used to be a banned card in the TCG. It is not currently banned. I believe it's currently limited 1. And in PDS's words, just thanks to the sheer number of cards and sheer number of hand traps that are in the game right now, it doesn't see as much play as it used to, because every deck essentially wants to go first, right? You go first, you set up your crazy board without getting too many hand traps off, and you're going to have that strong board presence that you don't need something like Monster Reborn going second or third or anything like that, right? It's just an extender for them. And that's kind of where it is in TCG right now. So talking about more on the Duel Links side, because Duel Links is obviously going to be a slower metagame, how good is this going to be? Let's think of it from that time frame. So let's think about it going first, right? If you're going first and you have Monster Reborn, it doesn't really do too much for most of the meta decks right now. Unless they release a new meta deck where Monster Reborn getting that extra extender, it doesn't do a whole lot if you draw it going first, right? And if you draw it in your opening hand, you're essentially playing with 3 cards, right? Instead of your typical 4 card opener that they have. So that's kind of the idea. If you're going first and you open Monster Reborn, it doesn't do a whole lot for you. It just kind of, all the current meta decks don't need it. They're already at their most powerful without it. Now going second, it's a completely different story in Duel Links. Going second, it's going to be very good in, say, mirror matches, for example, right? Because your opponent goes first, they use all their resources to bring their monster up, their graveyard's filled up, boom. You're able to snatch one of those monsters, one of those key components, and combo off with their monster pieces instead, which is really, really, really good. It'll also give you options if you got negated, if you got destroyed, Raigeki break, something like that. If there's some sort of crazy interruption on your opponent's side of the board, and you're going second, now you have a comeback play into your second turn, and it's not that bad, right? Because you're able to kind of continue playing, especially if they destroy your cards. You can resummon your cards, etc., etc., etc. And then, of course, I don't have to tell you, in the very, very, very late game, if you top deck a Monster Reborn, it's at the bottom of your deck, you have a high chance of winning that duel, right? Because now you're both spent on resources, boom, you summon your big boss monster, you win the game, essentially, right? So it's going to be very, very strong in the late game, very, very strong going second, maybe not so much going first, right? Now we have to think about individual decks that currently play it. What kind of decks do we have that would do well with Monster Reborn at 1? Things like Gaia. Gaia would be extremely powerful, even summoning the fusion components or the actual fusion monster itself with a refreshed attack points is going to be huge for them, right? Destiny Heroes, being able to bring out their Destiny Heroes after using them for discard, using them for mass changes is going to be very, very, very strong for them. Teller Knights, which already have crazy revive power, has crazy stall power, if you will. It's just another extender for them, which is really, really, really good. One deck that's not going to be able to use it, in fact, an entire mechanic, Pendulum decks. Pendulum cards, they don't go to the graveyard, they go to the extra deck. So that's one that definitely will not be benefiting too much with them, which is going to be kind of interesting because we have a pretty heavy Pendulum shift here in Duel Links, especially with the latest box having 2 Pendulum decks that, you know, had somewhat of a meta impact. So we'll have to see exactly what decks will be able to play them. And then on top of that, you know, like if you get bounced with Harpy Slash, for example, Monster Reborn won't help you. But if you get with a Raigeki Break, for example, or a TTH being one of the big ones, you know, you summon your monster, it gets tretched, you resummon it with Monster Reborn. So for example, Deep Sea Diva, you Deep Sea Diva going second, you bring out another monster, you get tretched, you bring it back with Monster Reborn, Silent Angler, boom, boom, bam, you're able to make plays still. So super, super, super interesting for that. The other thing we have to talk about, though, is the Limit 1. Ooh, why is it going immediately to Limit 1? Now, the Limit 1 zone has never really been that critical. There's never been like a critical card for the Limit 1 zone to have. It's always been like specific archetypes, right? Azure Eyes with the Melody, or you know, whatever cards they wanted to add on there. It doesn't really impact too many decks. This going to Limit 1 essentially makes it so any deck that gets hit with a Limit 1 can't play Monster Reborn anymore. So, you know, it would for example, Melody would be so much better in Blue Eyes, right? You would go in, Tribute Spirit, special summon Azure Eyes, special summon Spirit with Reborn. It's a pretty crazy combo with you know, things like Blue Eyes White Dragon. And if there's any other broken combos like that, boom, you hit them with the Limit 1. They can't use Monster Reborn anymore. GG for the most part. So it's pretty good, I think, that it's coming out as that Limit 1, because it will inevitably break a few decks for the most part, right? So we got to keep that in mind. And that's pretty much it. Too long, didn't read. Monster Reborn, if you open it in your opening hand, it's pretty terrible. I'm not going to lie to you. It's not that good. But it is only a one-of card, so if you open it going second, or if you open it late in the... or not open it, but top deck it late in the game, it's going to be an extremely powerful card. I'm happy that we're getting Monster Reborn. I think that's awesome. I guess they listened to the Rai rant. They're finally giving us more powerful cards, and I'm excited to see what kind of crazy combos you guys come up with Monster Reborn. You guys tell me what you think of Monster Reborn. That's it from me, from Rai, from the Ghostwriter PDS. Peace out. Till the next video.